Here's the great news. How often in 100 days do you get to change the trajectory of the world? How often in 100 days do you get to do something that's going to impact generations to come? And how often in the world do you make that bastard wake up afterwards and know that a black woman kicked his ass and sent him on the road?
Talk to him! You better talk to him! Welcome to Street Politics. My name is Reese Waters. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. Well, there you have it. Vice President Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, opting for the former high school teacher and Midwestern Democrat to join her on the newly formed presidential ticket, according to a campaign announcement on Tuesday. And personally, I would like to apologize to Tim Walz. I owe you a huge apology. I did a whole video about all the potential VP selections and did not include Tim Walz. That's what you call just being honest. I'm keeping it 100 with everybody. That is my bad, Tim. Although, from the way that I dealt with all the people that were actually featured in that video, it might be better for you. Admiral McCraven, I appreciate your service, but you ain't bringing no state. You ain't bringing no state. You got to come. You came to a party with no wine. You got no wine. You got no bread. You got nothing. It might be better for you. At 60, Walz brings a unique profile to the ticket, as many Democrats believe his inclusion will be politically advantageous. Harris, at 59, who has a background in deep blue California, chose Walz from a group of finalists that included predominantly white men, aiming to balance the ticket with a representative from a more competitive region. See? We told you! Walz's political career began later in life, following more than 20 years as a teacher and coach in service in the Army National Guard. He won Minnesota's first congressional district seat in 2006 and later became governor in 2018. His selection marks a significant moment for the Harris campaign, aiming to build a strong partnership and appeal to critical voters. Now, compared to other potential running mates, Walz is less known nationally and has received less scrutiny. In other words, he hasn't been dragged to the white meat like all the rest of them have been, whether it be Shapiro and his stance on Gaza and that whole business with the IDF, or Pete Buttigieg and their homophobia, or Gavin Newsom and laying on the rug with Kim Guilfoyle. Huh? Oh, that was me? That was me that said that? Not only can we not have two people from California, is just you on the rug with Kim Guilfoyle? Yeah, the same one that thought we were fighting communism on the beaches of Normandy? Yeah, that's you with Kim Guilfoyle, right? Yeah, that's disqualifying. Although Minnesota is not traditionally a battleground state, Walz's background as a veteran and former congressman from a conservative district could help Harris attract working-class white voters who have leaned away from Democrats in recent years. Now, Walz gained national attention as Harris started to consider him for the role, especially after making headlines for his critique of Trump and Republicans. Oh, he went all the way in.
What I know is that people like J.D. Vance know nothing about small-town America. My town had 400 people in it, 24 kids in my graduating class, 12 were cousins, and he gets it all wrong. It's not about hate. It's not about collapsing in. The golden rule there is mind your own damn business. Their policies are what destroyed rural America. They've divided us. They're in our exam rooms. They're telling us what books to read. And I think what Kamala Harris knows is bringing people together around the shared values, strong public schools, strong labor unions that create the middle class, healthcare that's affordable and accessible. Those are the things. You look what they're talking about. They went right to division. They did not give us a plan on healthcare. Donald Trump talked about infrastructure. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris built bridges, built roads. So I think this is going back to the bread and butter, getting away from this division. We do not like what has happened where we can't even go to Thanksgiving dinner with our uncle because you end up in some weird fight that is unnecessary. and I think bringing back people together, well, it's true. These guys are just weird. And it's, you know, they're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something. That's what they go at. That's not what people are interested in. And there is angst because robber barons like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump gutted the Midwest, told us we didn't do that. They talk about private schools. Where in the heck are you going to find a private school in a town of 400? Those are public schools. Those are great teachers that are out there making a difference and gave us an opportunity to succeed. That angst that J.D. Vance talks about in Hillbilly Elegy, none of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale, and none of them went on to be venture capitalists or whatever. It's not who people really are. So I think that message doesn't resonate. You saw it yesterday. The energy out here exploded. We all broke fundraising records, but that's not what I look at. Door knocks are full. Phone banks are full. People are talking about what's possible. We are finally on offense about an America where we're all together. So good. Have Orban down to Florida. The vice president will come out here and stand in a Planned Parenthood. She stands in a Planned Parenthood clinic in St. Paul. That's what people want to see.
As the election nears, Walz will need to introduce himself to a broader audience and prepare for potential debates, including one against Trump's chosen running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. And I find it hilarious that Walz needs to prepare for a debate with J.D. Vance, even though Trump himself is too chicken to debate Kamala Harris. Although I can't blame him, because there is no way that's going to go well for him. I can tell you that right now. He got some good advice just to look bad now over looking bad later. By the way, Tim Walz, this is what you're up against. This is where the bar is set for potential VP.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans?
Look, I love my wife so much. I love her because she's who she is. Obviously, she's not a white person.
Now, where can I get a good fried bologna sandwich right now? All right, this is the guy who makes it. But I you know, I'll tell you another story. That's right. He probably does have an IQ of 210, but don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. So, I love you guys.
Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. So you should feel very comfortable. I mean, going up against J.D. Vance is kind of like taking over the Commanders after Dan Snyder. Like, it's just like anything you do, we just gonna applaud it. You know what I mean? And for those that are not sports fans, it will be like being Wiz Khalifa's next boo thing after Amber Rose. Harris and Walz will kick off their campaign with a rally in Philly, starting a 4-day tour of key battleground states like Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada. Now, I know many of you guys don't know Tim Walz very well, so I thought I would let the man introduce himself.
These are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to be in your exam room. I've got a 23-year-old who told me TikTok is on fire. Go ahead and continue to denigrate people. Go ahead. My God, they went after cat people. Good luck with that. Turn on the internet and see what cat people do when you go after them.
Don't fuck with cats.
It'd be funny if it wasn't so sad. They see the least fortunate among us as scapegoats and punchlines for them. Kamala Harris and Democrats see them as our neighbor. You know, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen how they talk about things. Told them that they shouldn't talk about race. They can't help it. It is built into their DNA because there is no plan. There's no healthcare plan. There's no healthcare plan. There's nothing to do on this. They want to take away our alliances and leave Russia to do whatever they want. The minute they all step on the stage, the American people have lost. Are they going to debate who can ban the most books? The same old failed policies. Instead of putting out a memo like that, tell us what your health care plan is. Donald Trump told us he would do that on day one back in 2017. There's nothing there.
But you've legalized recreational marijuana, you passed universal background checks on guns, you expanded LGBTQ protections, you implemented tuition-free college for low-income Minnesotans. There's free breakfast and lunch for school kids.
What a monster. Kids are eating and having full bellies so they can go learn, and women are making their own health care decisions. And we're a top 5 business state, and we also rank in the top 3 of happiness. To think that any way this is normal. you got a former president that thinks calling names and spreading lies is the way to get people. They're continuing to shrink the electorate on their side. Their ceiling and their floor are the same, and I don't think it's going anywhere. So I'm just excited. What I know is that people like J.D. Vance know nothing about small-town America. My town had 400 people in it, 24 kids in my graduating class, 12 were cousins, and he gets it all wrong. It's not about hate. It's not about collapsing in. The golden rule there is mind your own damn business. Donald Trump talked about infrastructure. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris built bridges, built roads. So, look, they are bad on foreign policy. They are bad on the environment. They certainly have no health care plan. And they keep talking about the middle class that, as I said, a robber baron real estate guy and a venture capitalist trying to tell us they understand who we are. They don't know who we are. That angst that J.D. Vance talks about in Hillbilly Elegy, none of my hillbilly cousins went to Yale, and none of them went on to be venture capitalists or whatever.
Now, here he is signing a law guaranteeing free breakfast and lunch for all Minnesota students.
It is now law.
We could have used that. We could have used that when I was growing up. I mean, I had the money for lunch, but I shouldn't have been trusted with the money. Now, because the money never made it to lunch, I would just blow it on hot Cheetos and blow pops after second period. I would have preferred this arrangement where it's just taken out of my hands completely. By the way, here is his stance on the war in Gaza, addressing the uncommitted folks directly.
Yeah, look, they're engaged. We're really proud in Minnesota. Civic responsibility. We have some of the highest voter turnouts. These are voters that are deeply concerned, as we all are. The situation in Gaza is intolerable. And I think trying to find a solution, a lasting two-state solution, certainly the president's move towards humanitarian aid and asking us to get to a ceasefire, that's what they're asking to be heard. And that's what they should be doing. We've gone through this before, and we know that now we make sure we've got 8 months. We start bringing these folks back in. We listen to what they're saying. That's a healthy thing that's happening here. But I would note that that the former president lost twice as many votes here in Minnesota to Nikki Haley. And I've seen some of these exit polls out of North Carolina and others. 80% of folks said they're not voting for him who voted for Nikki Haley. We'll get these folks back. I think it's take them seriously. Their message is clear that they think this is an intolerable situation and that we can do more. And I think the president's hearing that. Look, I think she's got an opportunity to show the leadership that we know is there. Look, those folks express their opinion, and I'm proud to be part of a party that doesn't all wear the same red hats and bow down and knee to one guy. They're frustrated by this. I think there's a golden opportunity to recognize we need a two-state solution, that the atrocities of October 7th are painful and they're real, and Israel's right to defend itself is real, but also the situation in Gaza is intolerable. The humanitarian crisis must be brought to an end. So I think having President Harris at a point, bringing folks together, recentering us as a world leader in peace and holding our alliances together, I think she's got a great opportunity, and I remain hopeful that that's the direction we need to go. It's certainly not going to be the failed policies of a wannabe dictator, which we've seen out of President Trump.
By the way, y'all remember White Dudes for Harris? Yeah, I talked about it last week.
All of the leading vice presidential candidates, but here I am. Also, quick observation, they have Kid Rock, Kevin Sorbo, and a dolphin aficionado, and we have the Hulk, Samwise Gamgee, Luke Skywalker, and Mayor Pete just on this Zoom. That's pretty damn cool.
I'm sorry, did you say Hulk?
Enough was enough! And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother!
Oh, the real Hulk. Okay, I got it. Well, Tim Walz was there.
Thanks, Ross. Thanks for having me on. The anti-Tommy Tuberville, I guess. So it's.
Did somebody say Tommy Tuberville?
the anti-Tommy Tuberville, I guess. So it's good to see you. Mitch Landrieu, good to see you. Any place you're at, I'm here. JB Pritzker and this whole group. Following Josh Gad, I am now complete, Josh. This was it. I'm going to echo that message, though, that message of hope. My oldest daughter's name is Hope. And that's because my wife and I spent 7 years trying to get pregnant, needed fertility treatments, things like IVF, things that they would ban. And so once again, I keep talking about this idea. You're right. These guys are the anti-freedoms. I grew up in a small town, 400 people, 24 kids in the class, 12 cousins. And I hear J.D. Vance trying to talk about what a small town is. There's one golden rule in a small town. Those of you from a small town, mind your own damn business. We don't need it. I don't know who's asking for this crazy stuff that they're pushing. Who's asking to ban birth control? Who's asking to raise the price of insulin? I'm a Legion Club member, and none of the dudes there are asking to cut veterans benefits like Project 2025 does. So look, that's not where folks are at. I represented a rural district. Donald Trump won it by 15 points in 2016 when I won. Those are folks that want a fair shot. We need to point out to this. The reason rural America hurts is because robber barons like these guys have come in there. These are the guys that take money out of our public schools for private schools to give vouchers to people already going to private school. They undermine the basic social safety net that makes this country great. So when I hear you on here, I heard Josh talking about hope. That is exactly right. That's what we need. And then coupled with that, because my wife reminds me of this, she said, hope is the most powerful word in the universe, but it's not a damn plan. We need a plan to win, and that's what you guys are doing. That's what smashing that button does. That's what's calling. And again, this is preaching to the choir, but the choir needs to sing. The choir needs to sing. This is our moment. This is not just transformational for one election. This is transformational for several generations. But here's the thing that I take a responsibility for. We're not in this alone. The rest of the world needs us to be here. These guys throwing our NATO allies under the bus, the idea that they don't care what happens in the rest of the world, not addressing climate change that's going to impact communities that are less fortunate than anyone else. Those are the things it has to do. We have communities that are going to pay the price because we don't address it. Here's the great news. How often in 100 days do you get to change the trajectory of the world? How often in 100 days do you get to do something that's going to impact generations to come? And how often in the world do you make that bastard wake up afterwards and know that a black woman kicked his ass and sent him on the road?
Talk to him! You better talk to him!
And you know that's something that guy's going to have to live with for the rest of his life. So I got to tell all of you, please, please do what you can. Please talk. Look, I got Florida Man as a brother. We all got him in our families. But these are our neighbors and our relatives. And at heart, they're good people. They're not mean-spirited. They're not small. They're not petty like they hear on stage. They're angry. They're confused. They're frustrated. They feel like they got left behind sometimes. But we can get out there, reach out, make the case. And for one thing, don't ever shy away from our progressive values. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Just do the damn work. So I got to tell you, when I see this, it lifts me up. I'm inspired. I see it. Again, anti-Tommy Tuberville.
Did somebody say Tommy Tuberville?
This is the first day of football. We're all in this. We're all undefeated. We got an opportunity on this. I want to be standing in that day in November when we're playing for the big one, and I'll take us. And again, keep hammering on these guys. This idea of calling them out for who they are, shrink them. Is he a danger to society? Yes. Is he a danger to women's health? Yes. Is he a danger to world peace? Yes. But don't give him more credit than he needs. He's just a strange, weird dude, as we've been saying. Pick that in the pace. Pick up the work. Do the work. Donate. Call. Talk to your neighbors. Let's win this thing. No regrets at the end of this. Thanks, folks.
Now, one thing I'm noticing listening to Tim Walz is his ability to take the fight to Donald Trump and hold his feet to the fire for the many things in which he said, and even worse, what he has done. And that's something that's been missing from the entire left wing, is the ability to prosecute the case against Trump. I especially like that he called him a robber baron. I like that. I ain't heard robber baron since the 80s. He did mention his daughter, Hope. By the way, this is the two of them at the Minnesota State Fair.
Hey, Minnesota, Governor Walz here, out at the State Fair with my daughter.
Hope.
Every year we as a family do something old and something new. I get to pick something, a classic, the old mill ride, to do that. And then Hope gets to pick something new,
I think we're gonna go do the slingshot.
which I don't know what it is, and they're keeping it from me. But then we're gonna go get some food, corn dog,
I'm vegetarian.
turkey then. And
Turkey's
then,
meat.
not in Minnesota, turkey's special. And we will go do some of those things and report back.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Woo! Oh my god! Yes! Oh my god! It keeps going.
Yes!
That was good. Good job, Dad.
Oh, thanks, Hope. All right, Minnesota, it's worth it. Woo. Wow, that is wild.
That was pretty cool, actually.
That is wild.
No, that would be good.
It was okay. It was so worth it. Good call.
It was good.
Thanks for talking me into it.
You're welcome.
Now I was curious to see what the reaction was, and we got it immediately as alt Twitter, or as they're calling it, X, got hashtag Tampon Tim trending. Yes, in an election in which you are trying to woo female voters and convince them that you are not trying to infringe on their rights and bodily autonomy, Tampon Tim is what you want to go with. In an election where there's been rampant sexism directed at Kamala Harris and you have a woman running against Donald Trump, y'all decide to go with Tampon Tim. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. If it's one thing you can trust MAGA to do, it's going to step on their own tongues, especially when you threaten them to not be racist or sexist. Here was the official statement, by the way. Yes, they went with cows and rocks. So once again, robber baron Donald Trump and venture capitalist J.D. Vance, tell me again about how Tim Walz doesn't understand the Midwest. Please go headlong into that route of attack. Here, by the way, was my favorite from Trump's campaign secretary. Allow convicted felons to vote. Who's going to tell her? Huh? Who's going to tell her? Matter of fact, I just say, don't, it's just, can we get some footage of Donald Trump? I want to get Donald Trump's reaction when he read that, because I know he had nothing to do with it, because he has nothing to do with anything that comes out that looks coherent and which all the words are in the right place. So I need to get his reaction when he read. Can we get some footage of that? I need Donald Trump just on election day, just sitting at home on True Social, watching Fox News, practicing golfing in the back like he on house arrest. Like, this is what I need to see. But ultimately, I can't be sure how to react until I hear from CNN's Van Jones.
Do you think it was a little risky, though, Van, that she didn't go with Shapiro to kind of lock down Pennsylvania? I mean, yes, David Challenger was saying earlier, just because you pick him as your running mate doesn't mean you automatically win Pennsylvania. But I got to think it would have helped just a little bit.
Hey, listen, the conservatives, the right wing, the Republicans, they were chewing their fingernails down to the knuckle because they were afraid of a Josh Shapiro. They were afraid of a Mark Kelly. They're not as afraid of this new governor because they think they can define him. So here's the challenge you've got in this party. And people don't want to talk about it. We got to talk about it. On the one hand, you have a lot of young people who are concerned about Gaza. You have a lot of Muslims and Arabs and others. They have not felt seen by the Biden administration. You start hearing that genocide joke. That was building. And so those folks needed to have a candidate that they could feel comfortable with. This helps them in that regard. But you also have anti-Semitism that has gotten marbled into this party. You can be for the Palestinians without being an anti-Jewish bigot, but there are some anti-Jewish bigots out there. And there's some disquiet now, and there has to be. How much of what just happened is caving into some of these darker parts in the party? So that's going to have to get worked out.
Oh, Van Jones hates it? I'm in. I am in. There is no better way to decipher whether or not something is good for the left wing than Van Jones hates it. Let's go. He gonna cry in the car. Sincere thanks to everybody who's reached out to me and submitted suggestions for videos. Keep them coming. I take submissions for ideas for a video, suggestions for Racist of the Week. If you have something that just troubles you, or you just want to send me a note, because I love getting those notes, go ahead and shoot me an email at reese@reesewaters.com. I also have a newsletter that I send out periodically, so you'll be receiving that as well. You can also sign up on my website, reesewaters.com.